Sean Combs, known as Diddy, known as Puff Daddy, is about to stand trial in New York in May. Combs had his famous white parties.
So I moved to a new neighborhood and they were like, well, what's this guy doing moving here in East Hampton? I said, everybody, come on over to the house so y'all get to know me. You ain't got nothing to be afraid of.
Some of the alleged activity may have occurred in the later hours of those parties.
Kids have like an hour left. Because this thing turns into something that when y'all get older, y'all don't want to come to.
And there are a lot of questions. What he's exactly charged with, who's going to testify, what this case is going to look like. But before we get to those questions, we want to remind everybody how we got here.
What happens is if people go into a trial believing the firepower on the prosecution is so strong, I mean, let's say on a scale of 1 to 100, it's a 95, that it's so strong. But it goes down to an 88. That helps the defense because everybody goes in thinking, wow, they're going to prove this, and they're going to prove this, and they're going to prove this, and all of a sudden, none of it's there. I think that actually helps the defense.
He probably is the only person I know of who might be able to actually accomplish that.
Now, as far as jury selection goes, I think the biggest takeaway for me is that both sides expect to have all of this done in the matter of 3 days. Now, given just how high profile this trial is, I was kind of stunned that they seem very confident that they will be able to see the jury in that amount of time.
Well, Bill and Sade, accepting a plea agreement would mean that Sean Combs would have to admit to trafficking and force. And today he made it very clear that was not going to happen. Diddy maintained all along these encounters involved consenting adults and plans to take his chances that a jury agrees.
At trial, Combs will ditch the jail garb and wear ordinary clothes. As his lawyers argue, the evidence shows consenting adults being intimate in their own way.
When Justin Bieber posted a never-before-seen clip from a wild night at Diddy's mansion, the internet lost its mind. But what started as shocking turned explosive.
Where we hanging out and what we doing, we can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. He signed to Usher. I had legal guardianship of Usher when you know he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So and we gonna go full crazy.
Going crazy. That footage might just be the nail in the coffin for Diddy as he faces mounting allegations and a potential courtroom nightmare.
We have the latest from federal court in the Sean Combs criminal case. Status of jury selection, what Diddy's going to be wearing, violation of a gag order, rejecting a plea offer.
Federal trafficking, racketeering, and charges beginning Monday morning.
Elaborate, sometimes days-long parties by coercing victims through drugs, threats, and manipulation. They claim to have video evidence, and some of the accusations echo details from over 70 civil lawsuits filed against Combs over the last 30 years.
We're talking claims of coercion, abuse, and criminal conduct that span decades, yes, decades. And now, with Bieber stepping into the spotlight in a way no one expected, everything is unraveling in real time.
What made you come here to support Puff?
I'm supporting Puff because he's innocent, and I'm wholeheartedly believing his innocence, and I know he's innocent. So
You think you know he's innocent?
1,000%.
She did, and when the judge did, Diddy, who was sitting at the defense table with his attorneys, did not show any signs of emotion. He took a sip of water before he was led out of the courtroom by the U.S. Marshals. Now, his lawyers have vowed to fight this. They are going to be back in court on Wednesday before the judge who will oversee this trial and try to get Diddy to be released.
Before we dive into how things started unraveling, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're into deep dives like this. We break down the biggest stories in entertainment without the fluff, just facts, receipts, and a bit of chaos. And trust me, you're going to want to see how this one ends. Let's rewind.
Major developments tonight involving the case against Sean Diddy Combs, what he decided in court today, and what this now means, the move coming just 4 days before his trial is set to begin. Here's Aaron Katursky.
Tonight, Sean Combs makes it official. He's rejecting the government's offer to plead guilty and spare himself the possibility of a prolonged term in prison. When asked if he turned down the offer, Combs answered, "Yes, I do, Your Honor," as he stood in a baggy beige jail uniform. Terms were not disclosed, but prosecutors did say a plea could result in a shorter sentence for Combs than if he's convicted.
He knows The deck is stacked against him. They've got a ton of evidence. Take the plea deal, dude. Just take it.
Well, my guess is that, because we don't know the deal of the plea deal. At least I don't think we do.
True.
Okay.
Would you be open to a plea bargain?
Well, it's not up to me. It's up to Mr. Combs, and I don't see it happening.
Why?
Because he believes he's innocent.
Diddy, aka Sean Combs, has built an empire off charisma, ambition, and relentless hustle. He's been a mogul, a mentor, a mainstay in the music industry.
Back up a little bit.
How can you support your father? How do you support him moving forward?
Do you still think that, because there is this public perception, that there are celebrity tapes involved in this case?
No.
Do you still think that there are minors involved in this case?
I'm certain no.
Okay.
And again, when you say this case, we're talking the criminal case.
The criminal case.
In the
correct.
criminal,
I know that.
In the criminal case. In the criminal case, no.
But behind the glitz and Grammy appearances, darker stories have quietly circulated for years.
That he needs to stand up, not just for himself, for his family, and for everybody who's been targeted by the federal government.
Diddy's lawyers had argued that he had made good faith efforts by showing up in New York, ready to surrender to face these charges, but prosecutors said that he could not be trusted, that he has a history of trying to intimidate witnesses, including some who are going to be witnesses in this case. They urged the judge to remand him. Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs back behind bars, a magistrate judge denying him bail, saying that there were no conditions that she could conceive of that would make her confident that he would appear again for other court appearances. The judge saying, "My concern is this is a crime that happens behind closed doors."
Whispers turned to rumors. Rumors became testimonies. And now, full-blown federal investigations have exposed layers of disturbing allegations: coercion, manipulation, and abuse.
The decision guarantees Combs will face trial beginning just 4 days from now that will test whether one of music's most prolific figures used his power, wealth, and fame to exploit both women and men for decades,
often targeting the very people who trusted him most. While the public was jamming to "I'll Be Missing You," prosecutors were quietly gathering witness accounts, NDAs, and timelines that span back to the 90s.
Isn't that, to my mind, that's one of the bigger hurdles in selecting a jury this coming week, is that there is, at least anecdotally, when I talk to people, they have that opinion, strongly held opinion, that there's celebrity tapes, that they've kind of conflated Epstein, and you mentioned Ghislaine Maxwell and all of these things into Diddy. There's this idea that somehow this is Epstein redux.
What's different now? Solid evidence. And Bieber's footage might be the game changer. So here's where things take a wild turn. Justin Bieber, whose name has rarely crossed paths with legal scandals, just authenticated a piece of footage that investigators believe could be key in the case against Diddy.
The last hearing before Sean Combs' trial starts, when he walked into federal court today, he appeared to be looking for his family. They've pretty much been at all of the hearings that I've been to, but there was no presence of his sons or his mother or his sister who had previously been at those hearings.
This is going to be such a massive trial, like maybe the biggest Hollywood trial. God knows which way it's going to go. Is it going to go on for weeks?
For sure, weeks.
Clip was filmed during a notorious private party years ago at one of Diddy's secluded estates, a party already named in witness testimony as a hotspot for illegal activity. In the video, you can clearly see staff and guests being directed toward what was described as a restricted wing. Multiple witnesses previously claimed this wing was off-limits to most and was used to conduct activities that can't even be described fully on camera. Clip doesn't show anything explicitly criminal, but the movements, the body language, and the security measures captured on camera paint a very suspicious picture. Federal prosecutors aren't just relying on stories. They're building a case with overlapping testimony, metadata, time-stamped footage, and now Bieber's authenticated clip. Their argument? That this video backs up what multiple former employees and party guests have already said under oath, that these events weren't just wild celebrity get-togethers. They were carefully controlled environments, allegedly designed for manipulation and exploitation. The government is positioning the footage as corroborating evidence, something that fills in the gaps between conflicting timelines and supports the broader narrative of coercive control. The feds are also reportedly using digital forensic experts to confirm that the metadata in the video matches logs of phone records and security entries already collected. It's a strategy built to overwhelm the defense, and it might just work. But Diddy isn't rolling over. His legal team came out swinging, publicly rejecting a rumored plea deal. That's right, despite knowing that prison time is very much on the table, he's chosen to fight this out in court. His defense is laser-focused on discrediting the context of Bieber's footage. Their argument? That the clip is misleading, taken out of context, and potentially manipulated to support a false narrative. They've also raised serious concerns about the chain of custody, asking questions like, who had the footage first? When was it submitted? Was it edited? And perhaps most importantly, why is it only surfacing now, years after the alleged incidents? To add to the chaos, Diddy's lawyers are calling out the media, accusing them of tainting the jury pool with biased coverage and sensational headlines. They're demanding strict controls during jury selection and are even considering requesting a venue change due to the intense public scrutiny. As of now, the courtroom drama is just beginning. Trial hasn't even officially started, but key legal motions are already flying. From what we know, jury selection will begin within weeks, and both sides are compiling extensive witness lists. Some of these witnesses were present at the infamous party, others are former employees, and a few, allegedly, are celebrities who may have been unaware of what was going on behind the scenes. Legal teams are also battling over what evidence will be admissible in court. That includes whether Bieber himself may testify, whether expert witnesses will be allowed to interpret the footage, and if additional digital materials collected by the FBI will be revealed to the public. Expect drama not just in the courtroom but online too. Leaked documents, redacted filings, and speculation are already dominating TikTok, Reddit, and YouTube comment sections. Pressure is mounting on both sides, and with so much at stake, no one is playing it safe. Meanwhile, the music industry is split. Some are going radio silent, avoiding all comment for fear of legal blowback. Others, like producers and former collaborators, are quietly distancing themselves from Diddy. A few celebs have been seen scrubbing old posts and partnerships from their social media. And Justin Bieber? He hasn't said much beyond confirming the video's authenticity, but fans are reading everything he posts through a new lens. Could this be his subtle way of breaking ties? Or is he being pulled deeper into a storm he never expected to be a part of? It's also worth noting, this isn't the first time Bieber's name has surfaced in proximity to the darker corners of the entertainment industry. But this time, he may be trying to clean house rather than cover it up. The heart of this story is a much bigger issue: how power works in Hollywood. Diddy's case isn't just about one man's alleged crimes. It's a mirror reflecting how fame, money, and influence can blur lines, shield wrongdoings, and silence victims. Justin Bieber's footage may be just one piece of evidence, but in the age of receipts, it's a powerful one. We're about to watch one of the biggest courtroom battles in entertainment history unfold, and it could reshape how we view celebrity immunity, accountability, and trust in the system. This isn't just a scandal, it's a reckoning. And it's only getting started. If you're strapped in for more jaw-dropping updates like this, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We're watching every twist, every leak, every bombshell, and you won't want to miss what comes next.